Back in 2006, Crunchyroll was just another pirate site where college kids uploaded their favorite episodes of their anime. Fast forward to the present day, this company is now owned by Sony in a buyout that cost over $1 billion. It's pretty ironic how this pirate anime website now has a monopoly on the industry. Sony didn't just buy Crunchyroll, they actually weaponized the platform and used it against consumers, creators, and even competition. In this video, I'll detail every broken promise, every deleted purchase, and every exploited voice actor, and it all traces back to one simple fact. It's that Crunchyroll has stopped caring about anime the moment that they got big enough to get away with it. Let's find out how corporate greed has killed the dream of anime streaming, and it's left us with something far worse than what we had started off with. The US Department of Justice had actually seen a lot of this coming, but they extended their antitrust review of Crunchyroll for 6 months because even government lawyers could smell the monopoly Sony was cooking up. But somehow Sony's buyout of Crunchyroll still went through anyway in August of 2021. Sony didn't just buy them, they systematically eliminated every meaningful competitor in the anime space. Funimation is dead, Wakanim was absorbed, Verve was murdered, Anime Lab was rebranded out of existence, and within 2 years, Sony now controls the vast majority of anime distribution outside of Japan through a web of subsidiaries all feeding into the Crunchyroll machine, and this even includes the UK manga entertainment company, which was turned into Funimation and now it's a part of Crunchyroll. Prior to all of this, Sony had sold this to fans as a benefit, working together to give you more they had promised. They famously were quoted as saying all of your anime in one place. Now what they actually delivered was the opposite. Now there are fewer options, higher prices, and the crushing weight of knowing that if you want to watch anime legally, you're trapped in Sony's ecosystem. The anime industry did warn about this, as a Shueisha executive had flat out said Sony is too powerful, a monopoly is something to be feared. The coalition of anime dubbing actors called the merged company a checkpoint of power. Everyone had seen the disaster of Sony's buyout of Crunchyroll coming, except the people who could have stopped it. Sony's monopoly extends beyond streaming and even into anime production, with studios like A1 Pictures, Cloverworks, retail giants like Right Stuff being acquired, and even anime distribution giants creating an unprecedented concentration of power which Sony holds over the anime industry. On the 2nd of April 2024, the day that Crunchyroll committed one of its most brazen acts of consumer theft in streaming history, with zero warning and even less shame, they deleted every single digital purchase that Funimation customers had accumulated over years of loyal support. Now these were not rentals, they weren't temporary licenses, they were supposed to be permanent digital copies that came bundled with physical Blu-ray purchases. These were copies that customers were explicitly told they would own forever. Thousands of fans had built libraries worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, carefully curating collections of their favorite anime series. Crunchyroll's reasoning for getting rid of all of them is that we don't support Funimation digital copies. No apology, there was no acknowledgement of the theft, just corporate doublespeak about enhancing content offerings while they picked fans' pockets. They had tried to compensate fans who were out of their digital libraries, but it ended up being a middle finger. Some fans got 3 free months of Crunchyroll because of it, the same platform that stole their entire collection. Others received $30 in digital store credit. This is $30 for collections that took years to build and even thousands of dollars to purchase. These very customers then watched their subscription costs of Crunchyroll skyrocket. The merger of Funimation and Crunchyroll forced price increases from $54.95 annually to $99.99, an 82% jump that doubled overnight. Monthly subscribers faced increases from $5.99 to $9.99, a 67% hike that coincided with service degradation. And this wasn't the end. Crunchyroll recently announced additional price increases for Mega Fan and Ultimate Fan tiers, pushing monthly costs even higher while delivering less value than ever. One fan had lost 50 anime titles that they had on the Funimation platform, and they got offered 3 months of the Crunchyroll service that just deleted everything that he owned. The audacity is actually breathtaking, as this wasn't a technical glitch or a licensing issue, it was daylight robbery executed by a company that is well aware that its customers have nowhere else to go. While fans were distracted by streaming issues and content disputes, Crunchyroll was quietly profiting from something far more insidious. They were selling their personal viewing data to tech giants without consent of the viewers. From September 2020 to September 2023, the company systematically shared personally identifiable viewing information with Facebook, Google, and Adobe in different violations of the Video Privacy Protection Act, as this was in direct violation of the Video Privacy Protection Act. The class action settlement against Crunchyroll totaled $16 million, but individual users received a pathetic $30 payout. This is pocket change compared to the value that they had extracted from their private data. Crunchyroll has been monetizing their customers' details without their consent. This is details about what anime fans watched, when they had watched it, and how they had consumed their content, all while subscribers believed that their viewing habits were private. This was deliberate data tracking that was disguised as partnerships and analytics improvement. For 3 years, every episode that you binged on Crunchyroll, every series that you dropped, every viewing pattern that you exhibited was being packaged and sold to advertising networks without your knowledge or permission. This data harvesting began during the global pandemic when anime viewership surged and continued through the Sony acquisition and the Funimation merger. While fans celebrated having more anime in one place, Crunchyroll was treating their viewing habits like commodities to be sold to the highest bidder. I mean, what is it with Crunchyroll offering these pathetic $30 settlements for every time they do something stupid? On the 1st of July 2025, Necronomicon and the Cosmic Horror Show had premiered with German subtitles that accidentally exposed the biggest lie in Crunchyroll's recent history. Right there on screen, clear as day, it says ChatGPT said, followed by a machine translated line. This was a completed episode up on their streaming platform as they had forgotten to delete their AI translation evidence. For months, the Crunchyroll president Rahul Purini had been dancing around the use of AI with increasingly desperate denials. In 2024 February, he stated, "We're testing AI for subtitling." In March, he said, "We're exploring it but not currently using it." Then in April, there was a complete reversal. He said, "We're not considering AI in the creative process, including voice actors." The German subtitles of Crunchyroll blew up this entire narrative. This wasn't exploration or testing, this was active implementation of AI translation while lying to the faces of their customers. The English subtitles were equally damning, as they featured placeholder text like "translated by translator's name" that screamed automated generation, or just very lazy oversights with no quality control being done on the episodes and translations that they post up on their platform. You'd think with Sony's buyout and Funimation's merger, Crunchyroll's quality would have improved and fans would have been offered a better service, but Crunchyroll has in fact gradually declined over the years, and this includes the quality of their subtitles. There are missing sign translations now which leave viewers confused during crucial story moments, there are grammatical errors in their subs, and mistimed captions which create viewing experiences that are pretty broken, and fans return to pirated fan subs for basic comprehension of their favorite anime. Professional translators have also seen their wages stagnate to about $240 per episode. This is described as being way below industry standards, and their work is slowly being replaced by algorithms that cost nothing for Crunchyroll to operate. The message is unmistakable: human expertise is expendable, while machines are cheaper to use and exploit. Crunchyroll did respond to this entire AI subtitle issue, as they stated that a third-party vendor was in violation of their agreement. This is classic corporate deflection, as they blame the contractor and take no responsibility themselves, and they hope that people will just forget that this had happened. For years, professional translators have been warning about AI replacements, and now this was the smoking gun from Crunchyroll that their worst fears have now become a reality. Even the anime dubs on Crunchyroll are not without their own exploitation. Now, Jujutsu Kaisen 0 that was released under the Crunchyroll banner had generated over $196 million worldwide. This is while the anime voice actors who brought these characters to life were only compensated with $150. There were no residuals, no bonuses, no share of the massive profits that their performances helped to generate. The voice actors for Rika, Ichiji, and even Nishimiya, all three of them confessed confirmed that they received the same insulting payment for their work on Jujutsu Kaisen 0, which had grossed almost $200 million. The real voice actor scandal with Crunchyroll had broke with Kyle McCauley and Mob Psycho 100. McCauley, who had voiced the main character for 2 seasons, made a simple request. Could Crunchyroll just meet with SAG-AFTRA representatives in order to discuss potential future union contracts? He wasn't telling them to sign a contract or anything, he just wanted Crunchyroll to speak with them. Because of this, he ended up being fired instantaneously. McCauley was willing to work under a non-union contract if it meant keeping the role that he had loved to play. He wasn't demanding more money, Crunchyroll was prepared to pay union scale anyway. They just refused to put it on a union contract, and they wouldn't even sit down for a conversation about it. The anti-union stance was so extreme that they'd rather recast a beloved voice actor than risk any association with organized labor or unions. The systematic exploitation extends throughout the voice acting community, as some VAs will receive $35 per recording session. This is the exact same rate that they had got 15 years ago in 2007. Again, these rates should be adjusted for inflation, as the cost of everything else has gone up but their wages haven't. And this is not even mentioning the fact that Crunchyroll's revenues have exploded and subscription prices have doubled, but the people who bring anime characters to life haven't even seen a penny of that growth. These terrible business practices are intentional. They try to keep wages low, they resist unions, and create a climate of fear where speaking out means losing your work or getting fired. Voice actor David Wald described the continuous culture of fear and hostile workplace environment which pervades Crunchyroll's operations. When your business model depends on exploiting the people who create your product, intimidation becomes standard operating procedure. This, what I'm about to speak about, is probably one of the worst things that had come out of all of these scandals. For over 5 years, Crunchyroll employees treated the fan mail that was sent to voice actors like a collective company goodie table. Packages addressed specifically to the voice actor David Wald, which included handmade gifts, fan art, personal letters from viewers who were affected by his performance and wanted to thank him, got opened up by management of Crunchyroll and distributed to random staff as freebies. This, in fact, is a federal crime. Wald only discovered the theft because one fan provided tracking information for a particularly elaborate care package. When he confronted Crunchyroll about it, they claimed ignorance and they blamed employees for walking by the company freebies table. Now here's the thing, packages addressed to specific voice actors aren't company freebies, they are personal mail, and tampering with them violates US federal law. The stolen items from fan mail sent to voice actors include handmade magazines, custom artwork, and USB drives containing fan-created content. All of this was crafted specifically for Wald by admirers of his voice work. One fan described the group effort that they went into creating their package, only to learn years later that Wald never received it because some middle manager of Crunchyroll decided that it belonged to the company. Voice actress Alexis Tipton revealed the broader pattern of exclusion, as voice actors don't even get invited to Christmas parties, they don't receive free merchandise, and they don't even get free copies of their own work. They are systematically excluded from Crunchyroll perks, while their personal mail gets raided for employee entertainment. And the cherry on top is that they are paid slave wages. As expected, Crunchyroll had a statement for this scandal, but it was, of course, pure damage control. They state, "We respect the privacy of all of our voice actors and we do not intentionally open mail or packages not intended for Crunchyroll." If these words were actually true, then how did this end up happening for 5 years? How many other voice actors never received their fan mail? How many personal correspondence disappeared into the Crunchyroll freebies table? If you're thinking that by having a Crunchyroll subscription you're getting the best service, then think again. Illegal pirate sites consistently provide better service than the billion-dollar legal platform. Hi Anime, a pirate site, received 331 million visits in November of 2024. This was nearly triple Crunchyroll's 125 million visitors. When free illegal alternatives are outperforming your premium service, you fundamentally failed as a business in my opinion. Why is this the case? Well, it's because the technical problems at Crunchyroll aren't occasional glitches. They're systematic failures that plague every aspect of the viewing experience. There's constant buffering, which forces users to maintain 25 megabits per second internet speeds just for stable playback, while server crashes during popular releases have become so routine that fans expect them. Crunchyroll's 2017 decision to halve video bitrates means pirate sites are still getting better video quality than paying customers of Crunchyroll. Then subtitle disasters happen weekly as there are desync issues, leaving dialogue floating disconnected from the speakers in the series. Missing subtitles create silent scenes where characters mouth words into the void. Auto-generated closed captions provide gibberish, which is so broken it's actively distracting. Users regularly have to toggle subtitles off and on again mid-episode just to maintain the basic functionality of Crunchyroll. The adaptive bitrate streaming system turns episodes into pixelated nightmares as resolution randomly jumps between settings. There are black screens, out-of-sync audio, and stuttering playback, which creates viewing experiences that are so frustrating that paying customers will cancel their subscriptions and instead use illegal alternatives just to watch their anime without these technical issues. Can you blame them when these same pirate anime sites offer features Crunchyroll refuses to implement, like custom playback speeds, subtitle customization, proper search functionality of their platform, and reliable video streaming that doesn't buckle under normal load? How does Crunchyroll respond to offering a substandard service? Will they end up disabling screenshot functionality and blocking screen recordings as they treat paying customers like potential thieves while the actual pirates enjoy unrestricted access to superior quality content? Just when you thought it couldn't get worse, in July of 2024, one of Crunchyroll's anime that they were streaming received some review bombing. This led to them making the nuclear decision to eliminate all user-generated content rather than hiring moderators, as they got rid of all of the comment sections across the website. These are comments that span from the late 2000s to the present day, all under their favorite anime episodes. Years of community discussions, episode reactions, and user reviews vanished overnight because managing basic social functions like comment sections was apparently too expensive for a billion-dollar platform. Crunchyroll's excuse was that they were trying to protect specific marginalized communities from hate speech. The reality is that Crunchyroll is very lazy and they just needed any excuse to get rid of those comments. If they really cared about marginalized communities, then they would have hired active moderators. They would have had a reporting system as well as consistent enforcement of community standards. Instead, they decided to use the cheapest option to delete everything and pretend that it was for the greater good. These are comments from over a decade ago. These are fans who had left their first thoughts on their favorite anime. I'm talking about hundreds of thousands or if not even millions of comments just gone overnight. Moderation of these comments would have required human employees who understand context, nuance, and community dynamics, and this is something that AI struggles as it cannot distinguish between legitimate criticism and harassment. Actual humans cost money that Sony would rather pocket as profit. The removal of their comment section coincided with some increasingly cringe-worthy marketing attempts which exposed how disconnected Crunchyroll has become from actual anime fans. Their social media campaigns try to be relatable, but they consistently backfire as they use outdated memes and corporate speak which screams, "How do you do, fellow kids?" This tone-deaf attempt at anime fan engagement reveals a company that views its audience as demographic targets rather than passionate communities. Nothing exposes Crunchyroll's corporate manipulation and their cringe-worthiness more than their own events. I'm of course talking about the 2025 Crunchyroll Anime Awards, as this ended up becoming one big circle jerk where Solo Leveling swept 9 out of 13 nominations despite critical consensus amongst many fans that Frieren Beyond Journey's End was far more deserving of awards. The voting system that they have for their awards allows unlimited votes from individual users, transforming what should have been artistic recognition into a popularity contest that is rigged by Crunchyroll's own promotional machine. Then you have their convention presence, which becomes equally embarrassing and cringeworthy, as they present this forced enthusiasm for anime with really terrible hosts and sanitized presentations that feel like corporate HR departments trying to cosplay to anime fans.
I'm so excited. Okay.
The Crunchyroll Anime Awards featured celebrities like Megan Thee Stallion making cringe-ass comments like this.
I'm picking Bujarati, because my boy be moving.
And then later we learned that these anime awards are in fact rigged, and it's literally Sony, Aniplex and Crunchyroll just patting themselves on the back for a job well done. It's evident that the judges for these anime awards are paid by Crunchyroll, and it's no wonder why series like Dan Da Dan were robbed of their recognition, and why even the Bleach 1000 Year Blood War anime was not even nominated for some of the awards on the platform. And there's even the judges coming out saying that these anime awards from Crunchyroll are rigged.
Here is my choices for these. This year was just like, what would you put here?
The Funimation merger with Crunchyroll didn't just eliminate competition, they actually erased 192 anime titles from legal availability in the United States. Series like Steins Gate, Angel Beats, Black Butler, and even Mobile Suit Gundam Seed had all vanished from the streaming platform. This is because the licensing for these series didn't survive the corporate consolidation between Funimation and Crunchyroll. In total, over 60,000 minutes worth of anime content disappeared overnight. Fans who had been following ongoing series found themselves cut off mid-story. The unified experience which Sony had promised actually meant that viewers were getting less anime availability legally than before the merger. Physical media releases also became a major casualty, as Funimation had maintained a robust schedule of about 14 releases per month, ensuring that popular anime series eventually received high-quality home video releases. Under Crunchyroll's management, this output has been slashed dramatically. Popular anime series like Chainsaw Man remained without US Blu-ray releases for 2 years after airing, while UK editions hit shelves months earlier. The major reduction in physical releases represents more than just fewer shopping options, it's the elimination of permanent ownership in favor of rental subscriptions. In the past, Funimation had save editions or even anime classic lines, which provided affordable ways for anime fans to build lasting collections of their favorite series. These budget-friendly options have largely disappeared, and they've been replaced by expensive limited editions that price out most consumers. Sony's monopoly over the anime industry has created a feedback loop of decline. There's reduced competition, costs have been cut, they ignore complaints from fans, and this has resulted in issues across the board when it comes to anime distribution globally. With fans having nowhere else to go for legal anime access, customers have the choice of either being a captive prisoner of Crunchyroll's substandard legal service, or they have an alternative, better, free option, which is anime piracy, which honestly I don't blame anyone for doing in this day and age. I mean, at this rate, it won't be long before voice actors are replaced by AI synthetic voice copies, translators will be replaced by ChatGPT AI translators, and any way for community to offer their feedback for improvement will be completely removed. This includes the 5-star rating system that they have for their episodes on their platform. I wouldn't be surprised if physical media releases disappear altogether and fans have no choice but to accept whatever Sony decides to give them. And this is because it's a massive monopoly and we have nowhere else to go. The sad thing is that this isn't even speculation, we are already here. The ChatGPT subtitle proof, every fired voice actor, every deleted community feature, and even the disappearance of those anime titles from the Funimation Crunchyroll merger. And these companies are failing at trying to be hip and cool by shoving any celebrity down our throat who has mentioned that they have watched Naruto or they know what a Kamehameha is. If you want my take, I say do not support Crunchyroll and these terrible streaming services like Netflix, because if digital purchases does not lead to ownership, then piracy isn't stealing in my opinion. But yeah, we've reached the point of the video where I want to hand over the discussion to all of you. What are your thoughts about the terrible practices of Crunchyroll and how Sony has a monopoly on the anime industry? Do let me know your thoughts by continuing the discussion in the comments, and lastly, thanks for making it to the end of this video, and I cannot wait to see you in my next one.
A massive thank you goes out to all of my amazing Patreon supporters for helping to make this video possible. If you also want to support the channel and see your name in the end of my videos, then check out my Patreon, which has loads of perks like early video access and so much more. Thank you for sticking around till the end of the video, and whatever you contribute will mean a lot to me.